to the ball game. Take me out to the ground.
Good morning. Welcome to Take Me Out to the Ball Game today as we try to take you out to the ball games that happen. And got something we're adding today, so hopefully you enjoy it. Okay, how about this? How about this story to lead us off? Turn that down. A fan was ejected from the Scottish Open on Friday morning after removing a club from Rory McIlroy's bag and taking some practice swings. What? How did this guy get this close to him? The spectator walked up to McIlroy on the 10th tee at the European Tour event. So the Scottish Open, Irish Open, whatever the hell you want to call it, they're doing this week. Next week is obviously what I always called the British Open, but now they just call it the Open. For years, it was always known as the British Open. I don't know why they changed that, but now they just call it the Open, like it's open to the world, whatever. It takes place in the United Kingdom, so to me, it's always going to be the British Open. But anyways, the spectator walked up to McIlroy on the 10th tee of the event at the Renaissance Club before removing a club from McIlroy's bag. McIlroy and his caddy looked on in confusion at the spectator, who was taken away by security soon after. It says now that that the matter's in the hands of the police in Scotland. What a nut to think you could just, I mean, this is a problem. This is a problem throughout the world of sports. Fans thinking that they could just be one of them, that they're a part of the show now. Something dangerous is going to happen. Guy can get that close to do that. It always reminds, when I see any story that's remotely close to this, the first thing that comes to my mind is the Monica Seles stabbing that took place. God, I guess it's been 25, probably over 25 years ago. For people that don't remember that, Monica Seles was one of the top tennis players in the world, and a nut job fan, jumped onto the court and stabbed her because he was obsessed with her. Man, they're going to have to tighten things up here at these golf events. I know you want to make it accessible to fans, but you got to do something. It's going to be tough because you've got them all over the green. So you have to spend a lot of money on a lot of security. But if you don't, you're really going to have to talk. I mean, I guess you're going to have to just pass you're going to have to pass the money that you're going to have to spend on security. You're going to have to pass that to the fan. You can't control yourselves. So we're going to have to charge everyone an extra $10 or whatever it is for their tournament ticket because we got to keep the players safe. What a crazy, crazy story to start off your Friday morning. Okay, NBA Finals. Phoenix is up 2-0. They go back to Milwaukee. Holy cow. Holy cow. Holy cow. The Suns are 2 wins away from a world championship, their first world championship. Milwaukee will now be at home in a do or die moment. Realistically, you can't go down 3-0. So Sunday night is a do or die game for Milwaukee. I do expect the Bucks to fire back and play well at home. I expect Middleton to take over. Giannis has been kind of, and if there's ever a Robin that's overrated, like the typical fan on the outside looking in thinks he's the Batman. He is the Robin. I know he's got 2 MVPs, but Middleton carries this team. Middleton's going to have a hell of a game. So that is Sunday night at 8:00 Eastern. No basketball tonight, no basketball tomorrow night. And of course the hockey playoffs are over with. So we switch our focus to Major League Baseball and look at the big series going on this weekend, ones that you might want to get locked into. One of the ones that I think should be a lot of fun starting today. You got the Cubs, Cardinals. Both clubs are reeling, but there's nothing like this rivalry. It's in Chicago. To me, it's a little more fun when it's in Chicago because you get the day game on Friday. So Cubs Cardinals today at 2:20. It's Hendricks versus LeBlanc. The Cardinals are absolutely spinning out of control, but the Cubs, they were so dominant just a couple of weeks ago. Now it's hard to believe this, but the Cubs and Cardinals are in a dead-footed tie. They're both 2 games under 500, 43 and 45, but they're in a dead-footed tie. These two teams were separated by 7 or 8 games a few weeks ago. This is, do we have a pulse time? The Milwaukee Brewers are 53 and 36. 9.5 games in front of both the Cardinals and Cubs. The Reds are within 7. The Brewers are really in danger of just running away from this division. I bet your average Joe can't name 3 players on the Milwaukee Brewers. But they've got good pitching. They've got very good pitching. And they're finding a way to score. That was the big question going into this year, was whether or not the Brewers would be able to score. If you want a comp for the Brewers, the Milwaukee Brewers are the Tampa Bay Rays of the National League. Small market, though they actually have a good fan base. But they're finding ways to win baseball games unconventionally. And someone's got to make up their mind in this series this weekend, Cardinals and Cubs. Who's going to get their head out of their ass and make a run? If they fall off by the wayside, by the way, while that's going on, the Brewers and Reds are going head to head. So if you're a Cardinals and Cubs fan, you're a big Reds fan this weekend. You need the Reds to go in there and at least take the series. Brewers, if the Brewers sweep the Reds or even win the series, they could go run and hide and wait for the playoffs. Other big series on the docket this weekend. You got a few, got some interesting one. Rays and Blue Jays down in Tampa. Tampa right now, if you look at the standings, they are hanging in there with the Boston Red Sox, 2.5 games out. Toronto is 8 games out. This is a big series for them. Now the Red Sox are at home against the Phillies and the New York Yankees, who are 9 games out right now. They are at the Astros. Bad blood and all. We're finally going to get to see this unfold in Houston. Bad blood, Yankees, Astros should be a lot of fun. And then a couple other series that you might want to take a gander at this weekend, because we're not going to have any basketball and we're not going to have any hockey, obviously. So it's pretty much baseball season now for the foreseeable future. Nats, Giants. 9:45 Eastern. It's in San Francisco. This should be a fun series. 2 teams that are vying for the playoffs. The Giants obviously are top the NL West, and the Nats have worked their way back into the playoff race. That's probably the best series of the weekend if you really break down the nuts and bolts of it. Phillies Red Sox has a lot of pizzazz. Yankees Astros, we're just all hoping for a fight. So there you have that, and we're going to go ahead and get out of here and make this a little short today. But before we do, I'm going to try to add something to the show every day, as we are going to turn back time. And on this date in 1971, the longest shutout in American League history. Check this out. The A's beat the Angels 1-0. So that's already okay. They do it in 20 innings. All right. 20 innings. I mean, you can sit there and say that's boring baseball, but I bet you it wasn't. I bet 19 innings of shutout baseball. I bet you there was defense, all kinds of great plays, right? The A's beat the Angels 1-0 when Angel Miguel Plates Belfray with a 2-out single in the bottom of the 20th. You imagine sitting there covering that game going, oh my God, are you ever going to get done with this? And it was played out west. There's a good chance that damn game was played until the wee hours of the morning. But here's the other thing that jumped out at me. Vida Blue, and anyone who knows anything about baseball knows Vida Blue, one of the all-time greats. He was on the A's championship teams of the 70s where they won 3 consecutive. So this is just as the A's are starting to get really good. Vida Blue pitched 11 innings of shutout ball and fanned 17 batters. That will never happen again with your pitch count. 17 batters in 11 innings. It's the 11 inning thing. But the fact that 17 strikeouts, let me tell you something. In 1971, that was a feat. That was a feat because guys with 2 strikes always choked up. You were always taught to choke up on the bat because you wanted to make sure you made contact and put the ball in play. You didn't swing for the fences. And so 17 strikeouts is a big enough feat for something today. It's nothing, but for something back then, it's huge. But the fact that he went 11 innings, Vida Blue, the great Vida Blue. All right, have a great weekend. See you Monday. Take yourself out to the ball game today. And happy birthday, Mom.
Take me out to the ball.